You're standing at a street market in Seoul. The vendor reaches into a tank, pulls something out, and slaps it onto a board. It's pink. It's thick. It's moving. And it looks like genitalia. He slices it raw, plates it with sesame oil, and slides it toward you. It looks like something that should not exist. It looks like something that should definitely not be food. And yet, across East Asia, millions of people eat it. Dip it in sauce, chew it, ask for more. This creature has been living underground on beaches for 300 million years. It shoots mucus from its mouth and blasts water from its backside to launch its own poop into the air. And somewhere right now, it is on someone's plate. This is Urechis unicinctus, the fat innkeeper worm, the penis fish. Urechis unicinctus is not a fish. It is a marine spoon worm, a member of the phylum Annelida, making it a distant relative of the earthworm in your garden. Its body is a cylinder, 10 to 30 centimeters long, yellowish-pink, smooth, and frankly shaped in a way that has left biologists, journalists, and beachgoers completely out of vocabulary. Its common name says it all. The penis fish earned that name not from any single observer, but from an entire scientific community quietly acknowledging the obvious. In Korea, where it is considered a delicacy, it is called gaebul, which translates without ceremony to dog's genitalia. In China, it caused a public sensation when thousands of them appeared on a beach and photos went viral. The internet uniformly did not know what to do. But here's the thing. Underneath the shape, and we do have to move past the shape, this creature is genuinely one of the most fascinating animals living in our ocean floors right now. It has survived virtually unchanged for 300 million years. It engineers entire ecosystems. It has a sex determination system stranger than almost anything in nature. And yes, people eat it, and they say it's delicious. Urechis unicinctus spends essentially its entire existence underground. It digs a U-shaped burrow in the soft sediment of the seafloor, with 2 openings connected by a long, curved tunnel, and it rarely, if ever, leaves. Inside this burrow, it has engineered a remarkably efficient feeding system. A ring of glands near the front of the worm secretes mucus, which it spreads across the interior of the burrow like a net. Then, using rhythmic contractions of its entire body, it pumps water through the tunnel. Plankton, bacteria, and organic particles adhere to the mucus net. When enough food has been caught, the worm moves forward and simply swallows the net, food, mucus, and all. Then it starts again. This whole cycle can repeat every few minutes in waters rich with nutrients. The other end of the process is equally direct. Waste is expelled by shooting a jet of water from the worm's hindquarters, blasting the excrement out of the burrow and into the water column above. Efficient, unsubtle, effective. And this is where the name Innkeeper comes in. These U-shaped burrows are prime real estate on the seabed. Pea crabs, tiny clams, and arrow goby fish all find the worm's tunnel a comfortable, food-rich place to shelter. They eat the scraps that are too large for the worm itself. The worm does not seem to mind. It provides a home to creatures across at least 8 different animal groups, entirely incidentally, simply by existing and feeding. It is one of the ocean floor's most important ecosystem engineers. Almost nobody knew it existed until thousands of them washed up on a California beach. In December 2019, photographer David Ford was walking along Drake's Beach north of San Francisco when he noticed a flock of seagulls gathered along the waterline. He got closer. The birds were feasting. Stretching for 2 full miles of shoreline, thousands of thick pink wriggling Urechis caupo, the American cousin of our Asian penis fish, stranded on the sand after a powerful storm had torn apart the sediment of the seafloor and evicted them from their burrows. Ford told journalists afterward that he had no idea what they might be. There were seagulls lined up the whole way, having eaten so much they could barely stand. The story went global. The images went viral. And most people seeing it for the first time had an identical reaction. What is that, and why does it look like that? Biologist Ivan Parr, writing for Bay Nature magazine, explained that these strandings happen during extreme El Nino weather events that bring torrential rain and erosion to the California coast. Previous mass beachings had occurred in 2010 and 2016. Parr described it as the consequence of building your home out of sand. When the storms come powerful enough, even a 25-year-old burrow does not survive. 25 years. These worms can live for a quarter century underground. Some of the creatures washed up on Drake's Beach may have never seen sunlight before in their lives. Here is where Urechis gets strange in a different direction entirely. In a related echeuran species called Bonellia viridis, the determination of biological sex is entirely circumstantial. The larvae hatch with no sex at all. If a larva settles on the ocean floor away from other adults, it grows into a female, a creature up to 15 centimeters long with a proboscis and a full body. But if a larva encounters an existing female and settles on or near her, it develops into a male. That male is so small, just 1 to 3 millimeters, that it lives essentially as a parasite inside the female's body, contributing genetic material and nothing else. The male in this species is reduced to a single function. It is little more than a mobile gonad. The sex of the animal is not written into its genetics at birth. It is decided by its social environment after hatching. Touch a female, become male. Find empty sand, become female. Evolution, again, not asking for your approval. Now, the part that brought you here. In South Korea, gaibul is a living food culture. You will find it in seafood markets in Busan and Seoul, kept alive in tanks until the moment of preparation. It is typically served raw, sliced into rings with a dipping sauce of sesame oil and salt, or with gochujang. The texture is described as firm and chewy, the flavor briny and faintly sweet, with the clean taste of fresh ocean. It is not a novelty dish. It is not a dare. It is a genuine delicacy with a devoted consumer base, often found alongside other premium raw seafood. In China, it appears in coastal restaurants along the Bohai Gulf and on the Korean peninsula. In Japan, it is harvested from the waters off Hokkaido. In some parts of East Asia, it is also fermented into gaibuljeot, a preserved product with a more intense, complex flavor. Ecologically, the worm is also an important food source in ways that have nothing to do with human cuisine. Deep-water hound sharks feed on it. So do Alaskan plaice. Pacific walruses in the Bering Sea hunt it beneath the sediment. Southern sea otters pry them from the sand. In Queensland, Australia, they form part of the diet of the critically endangered eastern curlew. When a species feeds everything from an endangered shorebird to a deep-water shark to a Korean street food vendor, it is not a marginal creature. It is a keystone of the system. The burrows of Urechis-like creatures date back approximately 300 million years in the fossil record. These animals were living in the seabed before the dinosaurs existed. They were there when the first reptiles crawled onto land. They were there when the continents were still joined, and they are still there now, unchanged, still making mucus nets, still pumping water through their tunnels, still hosting tiny crabs and fish in their burrows, still getting dug up after storms and confusing every person who sees them. There are an estimated 236 species of Achaeuron worm worldwide. The largest reach over 2 meters in length. They live from the shoreline to 6,000 meters beneath the ocean surface, on every continent, in every ocean, and almost none of them have been studied in any depth. Their population dynamics are largely unknown. The impact of coastal development on their numbers is poorly understood. The damage caused by undersea seismic surveys used in oil and gas exploration, only recently recognized as a threat to invertebrates, is still being assessed. We are surrounded by animals we have never looked at. Creatures that have been here for hundreds of millions of years, that feed entire food webs, that engineer the ocean floor we walk above, and we have not bothered to learn their names. Here is a creature shaped like something your biology teacher would have confiscated. It shoots water from its backside. It has been hiding in the sand for 300 million years. It provides housing to 8 different groups of animals. You can find it alive in a market in Seoul, sliced thin, dipped in sesame oil, and eaten by someone who will tell you it is one of the best things they have ever tasted. It was here long before us. It will likely be here long after. And the most confronting part? It is not exotic. It is not deep in some unexplored trench. It is in the sand beneath the beach where you sunbathe. It is in the water where you wade. It is absolutely everywhere. You just never looked down. Urechis Unicinctus, the penis fish. Still there, still digging, still available if you are feeling adventurous with a side of gochujang. Would you eat it? Let us know below and subscribe for more creatures you did not know existed.